like if we want to make it specific to black men, I think it's even richer because
Mm,
no shade to the ladies. It's just I feel like we really have a dynamic that
mm,
shows depth here.
right.
Um, me and Nick, like we're fraternity brothers, but we like even the last episode, he's like, basketball, not my
I'm
ministry.
with you.
Oh,
Right.
oh man.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Keith, editor-in-chief of The Quintessential Gentleman, and today we are talking to the male cast, missing one of them, of Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, Mr. Nick Arrington, Preston Mitchum, and Alex Tyree. What's going on, guys? How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well,
Good.
doing well.
Great.
Fantastic. A little tired, but I'm
Perfect, perfect. Well, first and foremost, I just want to say I'm happy that you guys are here and you guys made it out of the house. From a viewer standpoint, didn't know if you guys were going to make it out the house. So being able to see you guys here is amazing. I just want to kick it off and just know, were you guys prepared for reality TV, right? Like, I think we've had enough years of seeing what reality TV is, housewives and all that type of stuff. You get an idea, but were you really, really prepared? Let's go ahead and start with you, Preston.
Absolutely not. I don't think, honestly, I don't think there's anything to do to prepare for reality TV, if I'm being honest. I mean, you can have all the clothes that you want to, all the nice aesthetics. You can think your personality is the dopest and the flyest, and then you get put in a room with other people with similar personalities or very different personalities, people with similar aesthetics, people with really wild personalities, people who are quieter and more reserved. It leads into a shitstorm sometimes. And it ends up being uncontrollable. But if I'm being honest, I think that is what can make the most beautiful moments, because you really do kind of lean on each other. And I'll end it here with saying that you can't escape yourself. I don't care. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care how dynamic your personality may be. The eventual you will come out, because that's just the setup of reality TV.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, Nick?
uh unequivocal no. I had no idea what I was getting into, especially when we landed there. First scene is Alex and I going in the house, and then you see these rigs, and I'm just like, wow, this is here. There's no turning back
Yeah.
now. Train has left the station and we are on the tracks, and I mean everything was happening for the first time, and you're in the moment, and you can't hit pause and be like, hang on, let me get myself together. No, we're gonna watch you get yourself together as well. And it was definitely a lot. Now the scary part is when you don't realize, or you get comfortable with the cameras being there. That's when it gets really scary.
Right.
You're
Right.
just, to Preston's point, your true nature comes out, because
Mhm,
kind of forget they're there and you just rock.
mhm, mhm,
So
mhm.
I said that.
so the short of it, like, no, I wasn't prepared. And I'm gonna answer a question that you didn't ask. Am I happy I made the choice? Yes.
Mhm,
But you, Alex, you
mhm.
want to add anything?
I mean, it's tripling down. No, nothing can prepare you. But I will say this: there are moments in my life that I could go back to and be like, "Oh, okay, maybe I did have an experience that's similar." You ever
Mhm.
remember getting on, if you ever got on a school bus, if you took the school bus to school and you knew your fit wasn't tight like that? You know what I mean? You getting on the school bus and you nervous and you know you might get roasted. You know somebody gonna have something to say. That's what the experience of reality TV is. It's like
Mhm,
you're completely naked. Like you gotta
mhm.
take the walk down that aisle. But you know what? Just do it. Just do it the best you can. Represent yourself the best you can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And can I also say,
go ahead.
oh no, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
So I agree with that. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, I saw a tweet the other week that was like, Alex, you can attest because I was lamenting to you. Is someone was like, yo, Nick got a do-rag on. What? Of course, I'm confused. Like, you don't
Right?
wear a
No,
do-rag? Like,
no, right.
can't win.
Those
You can't
those
win.
moments are always going to be funny though, because I'm like, well, how do you lay around the house?
Yeah,
like,
it's like
like we are
What?
just chilling around the house. But I will say also, I think our Alex and Nick, I'm sure y'all remember this, our literal day one of filming season one, it was a torrential downpour.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think, you coming in all excited and you're like, it is actually a monsoon outside. And now I am annoyed. But that's
Everything.
the energy sometimes you then bring in because you're annoyed with all of the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That makes sense. And now we're in season 2. I want to know, was it easier or harder going into season 2 after one experience in season 1, but then also having the same relationships, being known to people and things like that, that you experienced that year? Was it easier or harder? Alex, I'm gonna come back to you.
You know, start with me. Well, first of all, it was harder for me because I feel like I came in with the most drama the second season. But it's a close one because I will also say coming into the first season, I had no idea what this was. And I actually look back and I'm like, man, I wish I would have been a little bit more open. Like I was so reserved to it. I like wish I would have opened up a little bit more early on. But because I was so nervous about it, I just like didn't reveal those parts of myself. And so now going into the second season, I feel like I was like, all right, I know what it is. Let's jump in. Let's just be who I am.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something. I wouldn't ask anybody
Yeah.
to speak if they not speaking. You stay to yourself. God, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Go about my business. The
Yeah.
way that we sit, I was like,
Yeah.
I won't hear nothing from you ever again. You won't hear nothing from me ever again. With you. I get it. Yeah, I get it. We gonna touch a little bit on there. Nick, what was your thoughts? Is it easier or harder coming into season 2?
I think harder because there's new layers to things. There's new layers to Alex, there's new layers to me, there's new layers to Preston, and now our lives are so intertwined.
Yeah.
It's like you want to give your roommates at this point, I don't want to say castmate, roommate, space to tell their story, but you want to jump in to defend them, champion them, big them up. You want to do all the things, and it's like, well, wait a minute, they could say it, but you were also there and like, yo, I remember. And it was like, wait a minute, nobody asked me, right? Let me wait my turn, then I'm gonna jump in.
Right.
So from that perspective, it's definitely more difficult. And then I think we did a lot more this season, so packing was more difficult because we
Of course for you, sir. We know that packing for you was definitely a challenge.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna do this event, I'm gonna do that event. And it's like, well, I can't half-ass this. I gotta go in.
Yeah.
So I packed more stuff. I think everybody packed more stuff. So that part was more difficult. And then also, to Alex's point, giving a little bit more of yourself to the world, I think is internally that's a struggle. So yeah, definitely more difficult. I don't think it's ever gonna be easy.
How about you, Preston?
Oh, 100% harder. I will say on the easy part, the ease I think is that you do kind of get used to the cameras. I'm not sure if they're easy, but you do get used to them after a while. I do have some moments where I'm walking down the steps and it's right in my face and I look in the middle of it. But harder, and I think my journey was interesting. Harder for me because it's interesting. So I've been on TV many times before, mostly like MSNBC, CNN, political correspondent. This is very different, obviously. I think what made it much harder for me was that I could clearly see by many fans' accounts, I was dubbed the fan favorite. And I've seen a lot of season 2 falls, right? Either because of hubris or arrogance, or if you talk to some of them, bad editing. And I was really petrified, right? I think the quicker you climb, the harder your fall can be. And so I was incredibly nervous, honestly, coming into season 2, because I think any small thing would have threw anyone off to be like, I thought I liked them, I actually don't anymore. And I think in some respects, it's a little easier to already be disliked if you carry on being disliked because there's no shift. And then people love a champion, right? After someone who's been an underdog. So if you started off being disliked and suddenly you're liked, it's a great thing. But the opposite is rarely true. And so I was just incredibly nervous. Now, again, I just had to lean on being just who I know myself to be. And so, it is what it is. We haven't seen the whole season, so hopefully we'll see. But from my perspective, it was a little bit challenging.
When you guys look back at the episodes, do you kind of like, well, hold on, that didn't happen that way, or like trying to figure out? I mean, that's okay. All right. You know, because sometimes I just can imagine it's like you sitting back, you see, it's like, no, wait, hold on.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is out of order. Wait a minute. I wasn't talking to that person.
Exactly. Alex, I got something to tell you too. And it wasn't about you. So I got something to tell you later.
Okay. Okay.
But the chronology sometimes is off. And I think obviously the editors are doing the best they can do to fit hundreds of hours into a 52-minute episode. So you kind of respect it a little bit, but it does I think anyone who tells you the opposite of yes is lying. They are lying.
Yeah.
There are many moments we're all watching like that's not exactly how it happened, but we're gonna let it rock.
Right. And the only thing I would say is like I would just add to that is like it is we do know we're signing up for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like at the end there is reality aspects to it, but like it's at the end of the day, we know we're there to have a good time. And we personally, like I'm entertained by a lot of it. Not everything, but
right.
A lot of it's just funny.
Yeah. I'll put it to you this way. Let's just use a little logic. So I think a couple episodes ago, we were on the beach for like 10 minutes. You know good and well we weren't out there for no time. Nobody goes to the beach for 10 minutes. That's not a thing. So little things like that, I was like, wait a minute. We had a lot of fun on the beach. Like, where's the rest of this at? You know, we have those memories and we have the BTS, but honestly, 10 minutes on the beach is insane.
Yeah. Especially, here's the thing too, and this is one of the things that I get mad at. Not really get mad, but sometimes I get frustrated with Preston because he's so damn likable and funny. I'm like, damn, I had a really good funny moment right there. This dude done took it over. All because he had a good confessional.
Right.
Nasty. Thanks, and I'm sorry. Look, no, but that is true, Nick, especially about the beach part. Because it took us like 10 minutes to even drag the coolers down.
Right. So the breakdown was even longer.
Right.
So I want to, kind of dive in just kind of individually real quick. Alex, of course, want to come on to your side. I know you said you walked in kind of knowing that it was a drama. One, I don't know what you did to all of them. All of them. So I'll say this. My friends and I have a group chat. My guy friends, and we are just going like, what? No, she love him. She's in love with him. She's saying she's not, but clearly she is. I just wonder, like, how do you? It's crazy because to us, it's like you just trying to find your zen. Like you just here, you good, and every time you getting pulled right. How when you were there, how did you just navigate that space with clearly you got to live with these people who clearly have an issue with you for whatever the reason is. I just want to know, how did you navigate that?
Dang, man, that's a really great question. Wow, okay. I wasn't prepared for that good of a question. All right. Well, first of all, I want to give credit to the guys here. Just having that bond and that relationship really allowed me to enjoy my time there because it is a lot. Like it is a lot. And as you can see, like I don't want to put all the issues on me and the dynamics between me and the ladies. I think that they have their own issues that they were trying to work through. But as the man in the house, the single guy in the house, I think it's easier to project it on me. And so like it's frustrating, but I also don't like want to fault them too much. Because I think that is like just a practice, a societal practice that we have that I think we could reevaluate for sure. And I realized that I'm just in this situation, I'm just the representation for all issues of patriarchy and like, all of, you know what I mean? So I try not to make myself become a victim and just realize like, it's not my issue, And reminding myself of that has really helped. And it also helped me like evolve my relationship with the ladies as well. I mean, some of them, one specifically, we're going to figure out how that's going to happen. But, everyone else, like, I feel like we have grown since our time in the house. And like, it's really beautiful to see.
And see, it's things like that. You see how he talks? He talks real good. And they can't stand it. And we say, like, what happened? What do y'all want from him?
He talks like an R&B singer.
Exactly. And congratulations on releasing your lyrics.
Thank you, man. Thank you,
Yes.
man. Appreciate that.
So Nick, I want to know, with having a relationship, or being in a relationship and being on reality TV and feeling kind of confined to us, it looks like not really being able to like let loose or have stuff that, to me, feel like if there weren't cameras around, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But because they are, you're in this space where you kind of like have to navigate. I do have a relationship. I love her. I respect her, whatever the case may be. But also I have a good time and it's not too much. I want to know, how did you navigate, or what were your thoughts on being in that space with your current situation?
Sorry, I was on mute because I didn't want the sweet symphony of New York City to overshadow Alex. So it was like 3 ambulances came down. But yeah, it's tough because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Really, I like having a good time. I'm an affectionate person. I am a very gregarious person, a very outgoing person. And I think it's all boils down to perception. I know what my intents are and what my intents aren't. And I mean, it's easier, salacious sells, right? And I think things are exacerbated out of context, which is fine. To Alex's earlier point, is for entertainment, right? I know where I stand and I know who I am. And I think that's what's very important. And as you see the episodes play out, I think you'll come to understand that my intentions always mean well. Like last week's episode, as you know, I'm helping Shanice doing the things. I'm carrying her up and down stairs. That requires what? Hands, right? We're using logic here, right? She can't get up if she's not on me. You know what I mean? But what are we talking about here? I'm not gonna sneak something. You know what I mean? Like, what are we really doing? But and we're not gonna get on sleep support. We'll leave that one alone.
As me, I said, wait,
Yo.
how we get here?
Straight up okie doke.
You know,
And you know she asked for 2, right?
Not just one. She needs
Yeah.
a lot of support.
Yeah.
wow, how does
I'm
that
gonna
work?
be right there.
How does that even work? But I still don't know. It's still a question mark. But navigating is very difficult, and you know, you just have to you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah. I get it. Preston, this season, you know, I know you did say you were a fan favorite. I'm not gonna lie, this season, my fan favorite is Amir, because it looks like when he walks into a room, he's like, what what happened? Every time he walks in, it's like chaos is around him. It's so chaotic. He just want to have a good time. But Preston, I want to know, this season, I think last season, you definitely, you know, you held your own. You said things logically. I think you speak very logically when it comes to the arguments and the disagreements, probably the background in being a lawyer. But this season, you know, it seems you're more vocal. Is it because of kind of the things you were going through? Again, condolences to you, your family. Was that a piece of it, or was it just like you kind of just fed up? Like, I'm tired of the thing. I'm just tired.
Yeah, definitely the latter. I think everyone in the house knows I'm vocal. Like that's not a, you know, that's not a season 2 thing for us. Like we all know I'm very vocal. But I think it was really the latter. I think when there's so much happening around you, when you see certain people maybe kind of, if I'm being honest, kind of get away with doing things so consistently that it kind of throws off my own emotional intelligence. And it started to get incredibly frustrating. And I'll say it because my life on everyday basis is not chaotic. Right? Like my life is very much, I'm going to drinks with my friends. I'm hanging out with my now fiance. We're going on trips. Like that is, and we're laughing, right? So I think when you're put into like this pressure cooker environment where it feels like you can drop a pen and everyone's arguing on who pen it is, I just can't take it sometimes. And, you know, and of course, like naturally when you're going through a lot of emotional things already, that does trigger you a bit more. And so like episode 1 was chaotic to even watch, but it was more chaotic to experience. I mean, right, like you had Summer making comments toward Alex, you had Jordan making comments toward Alex, You had like Bria making comments toward me. I mean, it was so much going on, and I'm like, y'all, my father's funeral is tomorrow. I don't have time for this. Like, and I think it just triggers you a little bit more. So, and I just want to eat crab legs, but nonetheless, that's really what it is. But honestly, one thing I get from fans all the time when they see me on the streets and just talk to me, they're like, "Thank God you're more vocal." Because I remember that the thing I thought was going to be my biggest kryptonite, a lot of people end up really appreciating.
Okay.
Because a lot of them were just like, actually, you're saying the things that we are thinking.
Yeah.
And I just had to learn, like, just to let it go. The last thing I'll say is they know this. I was working a lot last summer, like a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think that was also a part of it. Like, I couldn't really engage as much as I truly wanted to because I was still having like 4 meetings a day, 5 meetings a day when filming was really ongoing still.
No, I get it. I get it. You know, as a whole, I first of all love this iteration of Summer House and seeing all Black cast. But then there's something about, again, having a publication focusing on Black men, seeing these variations of Black men where a piece of each of you I can identify with, right? I'm not gonna take the F boy one. But you know, but like I love seeing that, and I just want to know what has been you guys, all of you, response to having this type of representation on TV. Nick, I want to kick it off to you.
So I think first and foremost, I think the statement needs to be made. Being Black isn't monolithic. Number one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 4 different shades of Blackness on this call right now, and we all come from different backgrounds, right? And I think what is important and very special about this show that the audience gets to see so many facets of Blackness, right? And it comes in many shapes and many different sizes. And I think ultimate goal for me, and I hope all of us, I think I could safely say this for all of us, we hope the audience sees a little bit of their life in us, our sad points, our high points, our frustrated points, when we're really angry, you know, when we're dejected. I know for me, I wear my emotions on my face a lot. If I'm confused, if I'm angry, if I'm happy, if I'm excited, if I'm tired, it's all here, you know? And, you know, I often see, I'm that person at the table who just makes faces. I get that a lot. I've been memed a lot, right? So I think the fact that we're all so different, I think is great. It's chaotic sometimes, but I think it's great because everybody is so different. We have our similarities. There's a thread that binds all of us, which is Blackness, but we're all so different. And I think it's watching it is entertaining. It's like, wow, this is a lot. But you know, you get to see so much and experience through so much through us.
Anyone else? Preston, Alex?
What was I mean, that was great, Nick. I just don't remember what the original question was.
I was just asking, what does it mean to you to see the representation of Black men on TV from the show?
Oh, specifically Black men. If we want to make it specific to Black men, I think it's even richer because no shade to the ladies. It's just I feel like we really have a dynamic that shows depth here. You know, me and Nick, like we're fraternity brothers, but we like even the last episode, he's like, basketball, not my ministry. Oh man.
Appreciate
I'm
that.
with you, Fred.
I was hoping.
Listen, I'm with you, Fred.
First of all, not mid. You're not about to do it in the middle of my speech. Nope, not happening.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Go back because
sir, I love that. Respect.
That means I get the last words because I was getting asked last. So go ahead.
But no, I mean, look, just even a banter, like our ability to have that banter, but also coming from so many different places. And I was just going to make the point that me and Nick are fraternity brothers, but we live different lives, but are able to unite in so many different ways. Preston, similarly, like he chose a different fraternity, unfortunately, but like we connect in a great way. And then we got Amir, you know, our youngest one, who, you know, he's in another world sometimes, but you know, we brought him in, you know, we brought him in. Sometimes I feel like that older cousin to him that's trying to, you know, show him his way on the Black side. But we love him. So I just feel like that to me, like on TV, is so perfect to see.
Mhm.
And I think that people won't realize how powerful it is until years to come.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Goodness.
Go ahead, Fred.
No, appreciate it. No, I love those responses, if I'm being honest, because I just saw, funny enough, a white woman literally Instagrammed us. And I don't know if you saw, if Nick and Alex saw that yet, but she was saying that we are the best men on any Bravo show ever.
I did see that.
And I had to really reflect on it, because the reality is Bravo does not have a lot, and this is no shade to Bravo, facts are just facts sometimes. Bravo does not have, or I can't remember a time where I've seen just Black men as main characters on a show in this way. And so there's something that's really special about that, like already, right? And maybe some people think we can be deduced or reduce the caricatures or stereotypes, but I think when you really look at us and like peel back our layers, we are very different, but we have so many similarities that I think it is beautiful to see. The reality is most of my friends, the vast majority of my friends, are not straight Black men.
Mhm.
They are Black men, but they're queer Black men. And I think I'll always have to kind of like check myself in these instances sometimes, because I admit that I have my own triggers and responses to straight Black men. And so, which we've seen even, but I think even the opposite of that, or even like the more, I should say, emotionally intelligent Black men, like the Alexes, like the Nicks, are saying the exact opposite, and are even saying, I understand where Preston is coming from here. That's not my experience, but I get what we're going through, and I understand exactly probably how he's feeling in this moment. And so I think that is even a layer that I don't know it's been unpacked in many like outlets yet. Like that was a moment for me. I think I actually texted Alex, if I remember, but
Yeah,
that was a
yeah.
moment for me that meant so much, because when you're watching confessionals, you don't know what people are saying, right? Like until you see the show. And I always have to give credit to where credit is due, because these type of Black men, unfortunately for my life, are not the Black men who I'm used to in my life.
Mhm.
And so I just really appreciate that that is what representation can look like for us.
And I think it's also too, going back to the conversation of like, gay Black men and heterosexual Black men, and like this disconnect, right? There's always this
Mhm.
idea like you can't be friends with this person because,
Mhm.
then you're gay, or
Mhm.
this gay person's trying to get with you. So this dynamic, I love it because it really breaks that ideology or that myth that people have that Black gay men and Black
Mhm.
heterosexual women can't be friends. And then
Yeah.
there's another part of it too that I love about the show is also accountability, right? Like I think,
Mhm.
again, Alex, you tried, and you tried your best,
Yeah,
but
you can only use that word over here because I don't know if it's used over in the other
but
conversation.
there's like really a conversation that happens where it's like, okay, this is what happened. Here's your side, here's my side. Let's like how we
Mhm.
go. And then, even from you guys have from the men in your cave dungeon. That's another conversation. Preston, you talked about. But when you kind of debrief and y'all have those conversations, I'm pretty sure y'all have more conversations than we're able to see, but you can tell that you guys are speaking to each other like, what could I have done better? What happened here? And I love that accountability piece from the show for sure.
Yeah. And also, I mean, to Preston's credit, I think he's someone who's done a great job of holding people accountable. Um, and so I think that's really, really important. And I think that, to Preston's point, because I did see that comment about a fan making about how complimenting us on how we engage with the woman, and which I think is also really powerful. I know that I've gotten my smoke from the ladies, but I do think net like it's very positive, and so I think the value in that is that we can, if we're holding ourselves accountable, then we also can hold the group as a whole accountable, and that allows us to move forward as a cast. That allows us to be able to evolve and grow as we want this show to continue to move on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And then, I have probably two more things before I get cut out of here. But it has been announced that you guys have a reunion. Super excited about that. How do y'all feel about it? Like how going into it now, like I want to know from each of you. Again, Alex, we're gonna say a prayer. But
Please.
I want to know from each of you kind of like what what you're kind of expecting, and even the excitement for having a reunion. Preston, let's go back to you.
So, because I watch Bravo all the time, what I'm really excited and nervous about are these seating charts, like that, because seating charts mean something very specific on reunions, or at least that's what a lot of fans think, self included. So that's going to be very interesting to see where folks are positioned. I'm excited for it. I think we deserve it. I think there needs to be some finality and some resolve with a lot of conversations. I mean, I pray honestly that folks are okay at the end of the day, because this is real life too, and there are actual relationships to be formed or to unravel. Like I know personally, me and one person on cast were not well. We are not good, and I think the reunion is going to be an interesting moment to see that and to kind of experience that, right? And the questions elucidate specific responses, right? We all want to dress well, so I know we are the best looking cast on Bravo, so I know we're all going to come with it with the looks. But I'm excited, nervous, and I'm cringing a little bit to hear some of the conversation. But I'm excited that we have this opportunity, because it is not something that's afforded to a lot of us.
Yeah, sure. How about you, Alex?
I mean, I don't even know if you got to ask me. I mean, look, I mean, am I looking forward to it? I'm not very much looking forward to it, but at the same time, I am preparing myself for it. I am accepting that this is a great moment for me to be able to bring some truth and some logic and some balance to a lot of the conversations. So that I do actually look forward to. Will things get resolved? That is my only concern. Will they actually get resolved? And the other thing I think that Preston mentioned about, like, this is our real life. The one thing I think is important that I noticed is like the difference between like a housewife show and our show is like a lot of times the housewives, they're like established or they've built their name in some way, and so like there's kind of a lightness. There's a little bit, and sometimes things get heavy with us because we're still developing our career. We're still in the middle of our hitting our stride and our peak, and so things do actually matter a little bit more. And so I do think it's important for us when we do go in. We want to entertain, but we have to be able to think about how it impacts our actual lives as we build our names.
So a few things. One, I'm looking forward to getting dressed, right? Number two, I've never been on Watch What Happens Live, so I have the opportunity to speak for myself. A lot of people like to talk for me or give their opinion about me or what do you think about Nick. I have the opportunity to speak for myself, which I'm excited about. And from a fan perspective, our show is different. We only film in the summertime, so you miss a lot. So then the first 2 episodes is catching up on what happened in the summer, what happened. And I think this is going to be helpful for the audience to hear what has been happening in our lives, because our relationships have grown stronger, more layers. Some people have had falling outs. Some people have, gotten closer. So I think that's going to be exciting for our fans and audience to see. So then hopefully when we go back to the Vineyard, we can jump right into it and we don't have to do a recap, or the recap is going to be it's going to take less time and we can get activated much faster, So I think that's going to be good in those aspects.
And I have the perfect sponsor for the reunion show. It should be Kleenex, because on that show, guys, we take credit for everything. Again, our group chat.
No, episode 4 was chaos. I even had to tweet. I was like, "This is chaotic." Like, what?
I was like, never mind. I ain't gonna say what I was gonna say.
A lot of tears were over you, play it.
Yeah. No, it wasn't over me. I'm not gonna take that credit. It wasn't over me. They always text me like, "What did you do this time?" I'm like, "I ain't do nothing. I swear."
Oh my god.
Perfect. And my last question, you want to get out of here? Oh, go ahead, Nick. What'd you say?
I was gonna say, what did you do this time is insane.
Exactly. My last question. I just want to know if from each of you, I want to know from your female woman castmates, if you were stranded on an island which one would you want to be stranded with? I'm going to start with you, Nick, then Preston, and then Alex will leave you for last. Go ahead, Nick.
Mhm.
All right. So tell me the question one more time.
Stranded on an island. Pick one of your women castmates to be stranded with.
That's a coin toss between Jordan and Summer. Coin toss.
50-50.
But if I had to pick one, let me play the game properly. If I had to pick one, picking Summer.
Summer. Okay. Preston.
I don't know if Nate picked Summer because he thought I was gonna pick Jordan, but I'll be honest, I would actually pick Noelle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's. I mean, people will see, but she's just so fun, and she reminds me of every woman I went to high school and college with. Like, there's like a Midwest Southern energy there that I just love so much. And yeah, so I would go with Noelle.
You give that to our soror. All
Yes.
right. And Alex, how about you?
I want to qualify this because Preston went on Watch What Happens Live and said my flirting is a 5.
Don't do that.
And I told him, I said, I can't win for losing. If I flirt with one, another one's gonna get jealous. Then it's gonna be smoke for me. Anyways, so my pick here, there's no easy choice here, but I'm going with Noelle as well. Here's why. I think with any of them, we're probably gonna die. But if I'm gonna die, I'd rather die having a good time and laughing, and I can do that.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I appreciate that. That makes sense. Thank you for the explanation. I didn't know if I asked for one, but given your circumstances, I understand why we got. I appreciate you guys so much. It's an amazing show. Nick, my guy, it's so good seeing you again. I hope to see you all again. And let's go. Season 3. Keep it going. We tuned in, man. I'm super excited for you guys. Thank you so much.